Hello, in today's video we are going to make a belly band. I will show you how I weave it. It's actually probably going to be a rather short video, but we are working in the bird journal. We are going to get this started. Hello, welcome to Nixies Notebooks. I am your host, and today I am going to show you how I do a woven belly band. This is like my fourth time recording this, because there was a section that I kept thinking I cut out, and then I'd get to it and it would just be me sitting there watching just nothing on the screen. So yeah, so this is my first crafting fail of the day, of many I'm sure. I glued the edges down without cutting the slats in to make the loom to weave the paper. So you need some vertical slats on that piece of paper. And I do it by getting a fabric cutter, one of those rolly dig things, and then I use it's actually like a quilting square or a straight edge for when you cut fabric. It's a thicker plastic and it's just easier, and you don't necessarily, it's harder for it to get up and cut your fingers off when you're using that tool. So I didn't intentionally make the spaces in between all this stuff even. It just kind of turned out that way because I was using as you can see over on the far, towards the left of the screen. I guess that'd be the left, yeah. Where the white paper is, I'm using the lines to line up the cutter to make sure I'm cutting in a straight line, basically. You probably don't need straight lines, but I would all do it from like one piece of paper. Like, so when I cut these, the top part, I didn't cut all the way to the top. I left about ½ inch or even probably close to an inch up at the top. So that way when I put the paper in, they can't slide back out, if that makes sense. I figured that'd probably be the best way to do it. Maybe, maybe not, who knows. My desk is such a mess. I saw someone put, they showed their, I think it was Jodify, she was showing her messy cam video, or messy cam footage in one of her videos, or messy desk cam, that's what it was. Wow, that was a whole mouthpiece. Anyways, I saw her desk, I'm like, that's not messy, that's what my desk looks like when it's clean. It's just embarrassing. So anyways, I glued it down again just to give it some more stability. I thought it didn't work out the way I thought it would. My thought was that I glue it down to the other piece, it would be like the backdrop, it would be smooth, so that way when you slide the papers in, it won't get caught in anything. However, because I glued it down, when I go to sew it, I'm going through the back of it anyways, so it's not smooth. But it's not the weave part either, so... Here I'm weaving. This part wasn't that bad. It took me a little while to kind of get into a groove. I found the easiest way, and I don't really do this until more towards the end, is that you just go up to the top, lift up the piece of paper you want to put your paper in, like instead of doing it one at a time. Lift them all up, then just shove the piece of paper in there, and then just move on to the next one. It just seemed easier, and you'll see it in a few minutes. That's kind of the easier way to go, I think. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. This is a great way to get rid of scrap paper. Definitely be doing this again. I have like so much strips and scraps and stuff. It's mostly cutoffs from like when I'm trying to either make something straight or signatures. I realize I gotta cut off just a little bit more. Sorry, I didn't mean to sigh there. So now you're gonna watch me pull everything over to the side. Why, you're asking? because this way when I cut it, I will save more scrap paper, because I need more scrap paper apparently. It's amazing how much paper I have in this house. I'm trying to like work to get rid of stuff, but yeah, to stop buying stuff too, which is something I have to work on. So you can see I'm just using any old piece of paper that I just happen to pick up. The paper that I used for the quote loom, I guess you would call it, or the vertical stripes there, it's actually, it's a really big golf course book, and it had some really shiny papers in it. I get, you can use the shiny papers. I have some issues. I'm always afraid the glue is just going to come undone. So that's why I ended up, you'll see it afterwards, I end up sewing pretty much everything down just to make sure. Here I'm just checking to make sure the size, that's the signature that it's gonna, that's actually the piece of paper it's gonna go on. So I just want to make sure that the size is correct. I'm not, you know, because there's no point in doing it too much, it'll just kind of waste paper. I don't know what I was thinking there. That was just weird. Alright, so we're getting close to the top now. See, there's a good example of pulling the paper up and just doing that. It actually made it a lot easier. Be careful too, because it is paper still. You don't want to like tug on it and pull on it too much, because it will rip. Yep, too big. I've said that in 4 times now, maybe 5. Oh, good. I just checked to make sure my microphone was on. That's my, that and doing things off camera. I was really excited because I thought I did everything on camera here, but apparently I didn't. There's actually a place where I'm kind of fussy cutting a bird and it didn't work right. I was off camera a little bit. I make a big mess of this. Sometimes I don't know where my mind is. Like, I'm just doing something and I'm like I can't make my mind do the right thing. So what I do now is I glue down the top strip, just kind of hold it all together until I get it over into the sewing machine and sew it down. So just before you glue it down, just a heads up, you may want to go see how I'm checking all the pieces of paper and I have to go and I have to peel back the glue. I actually do this twice because I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention, I guess. I don't know. So, yep, see, there we go. So I don't know why I would glue it down first. So that's something just to keep in mind. Oh, and then I see it down here, you see down there, I realize, oh yeah, they're all not really that straight down. Let me fix them all after I've glued it down. Very excited to glue today, I guess. Just peel it off. I'm really not sure what I was thinking when I did that, but anyways, so yeah, so that's just my word of advice. Just make sure before you glue, you make sure that's really what you want to do. So there we go, I sewed it up, and you can see I'm using a blue thread for this project, so I'm just trying to keep everything with the blue thread. I do cut off all my tying the strings because it just takes forever. So it's coming up right now. Next. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, I'm just going to cut it. Real simple and easy. Maybe, if I get the cutter out. There we go. So I'm using that top line just to kind of give me a good starting point. So, yeah, I'm just kind of using that and yep, just cutting it nice and straight. There we go. This actually came out pretty cool. I actually really like the way this came out. I'm not gonna lie. There we go. So next I ink the edges. No, next I cut the threads. I try to leave some of them hanging out, but I'm not huge on letting them hang out. Here I'm just deciding, is this going to be a pocket because it's so big, or is it going to be a belly band? I do keep it as a belly band just because I started with it that way and I figured I really don't want to sew down 3 sides. I inked around the edges, just give it kind of a little bit of a, you know, burnished look. And I realized that this is now looking very garish and I need to fix it. There we go. So pull out this little birdie. I found him or cut him off another thing, so I thought that would look nice. And here we go. I go off camera to fussy cut. I was doing so good too. Look at that. I was doing so good. I must have realized. So kind of, yep, see, there we go. I realize it. Yeah. Someday I'll learn how to video, right? Someday I'll YouTube good. So. I don't show you all the inking, or maybe I do. Good lord, why would I do that? Alright, I can't, I'm not, you're gonna have to deal with the inking. I can't stop and start again. I just can't. This is the last recording. So I realized I need something else, so I decided, okay, there we go. There we go, got nice words. Wild at heart. I think it kind of matched the bird soaring there. I think I'm gonna have to go and print out some words, like in flight, or I don't know, things that revolve around birds. Just kind of gluing it. I'm using the fabric tack. I'm getting low on the glue, and of course once it gets like to a certain point, like the glue just, when you glue, it like starts to seep out the top. I don't know why. Like it has to, like, it's almost when you're done with it, it just does it, and it drives me nuts. It probably has something to do with air pressure, and there's probably like a logical reason, I just don't know it. So that backing, so I'm sticking it onto a glossy back in some areas, and the backing of that Wild at Heart, it was a dust cover, so the dust cover on the inside was kind of smooth, so I got really concerned, so I am going to go and sew it again eventually. Yep, right now. So I go and sew it, and I tie up the pieces. I think I kind of cut that out because no one really wants to watch me tie a string. So there we go. Now I just gotta measure it. Yeah, it's a big, disgusting gob of glue. I thought I cut that out too. Apparently I didn't. Yeah. So when you're working on signatures, just, you know, make sure you're only pull out the page you're working on. So when I do my signatures, I usually do a lot of it outside before I sew the pieces into the journal, the signatures into the journal, because it's easier to work on the individual piece of paper when it's outside the journal and not sewn to other pieces of paper. But when you're doing it, you also want to make sure you don't like have like all the pieces of paper in there, because that might cause some problems. So, and you don't want to like mess up another page because you just had it sitting in there. So, and I'm tying more threads. So I went all the way around the bird and Wild at Heart just to make sure that they stay down. Oh no, this is, and then of course I got really impatient with the glue and it wasn't drying quick enough for me, and I was just really concerned, so then I just glued it down. I have some ideas for the inside of that page, which we will do this week. So yes, alright. And there's the bird journal. There you go, you can see it's a cute little belly band. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.